everyone, it's Cal from Cal's Crafts. Welcome if you've not been before, and hi if you've come back, thank you very much. I got a tag from Anne Chambers, Rosieposy Crafts, to answer 15 questions about myself. So I'm sorry it's taken me a couple of days to get around to it, but I thought, right, I'll do it. I did have the camera on me because they were all doing it facing the camera, but I had to take it off. Yeah, I couldn't do it, so I'm afraid you're gonna have to watch me diamond paint as I answer them, if that's okay with you lot. If you don't like tag questions, that's fine, just switch off, that's great. So my first question was, when did you last cry? This had been last week, it'd been fine, but this week, different story. Last time I cried was properly cried, I mean sobbed, was Sunday. I had a bit of a family emergency with my mum and my dad, and I had to make the decision to have my mum committed with her dementia, and that took a lot of time and hours and people to speak to back and forth, and a lot of tears and from everybody. So I won't go any more detail than that, but yeah, so that was Sunday. And just to let you know, my mum's fine, she's safe, she's well looked after, and my dad is coming to terms with it all right, and he'll be okay. So what was the next one? What do you... Oh, I got coffee, by the way. I do apologise. I've just made myself a coffee. What is the first thing you see when you meet people? I got to admit, it's their manner, the way they come across to me, whether they're friendly or not, whether they greet me with a smile, what their tone of voice is like with me. If somebody's very abrupt with me, I can't deal with it. And somebody comes over with a smiling face and a gentle voice sort of thing, then yeah, that means more to me than anything. Friendliness, I think, is not over friendly, but you know, big smile, how are you, blah de blah blah. Like, I can't stand going into a shop and the shop assistants come up and they go, "Can I help you?" Real short and sharp. Sorry if that was a bit loud, I didn't mean it to. And I'm like, nope, turn around, at the shop, we've gone, bump, out. But if they say, "Oh, hi madam, sorry to bother you, do you need any help?" and smile, I'd go, "Oh no, it's okay, thanks anyway," and I'd carry on. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I am. So yeah. Number 3, how far from home have I ever been? Ooh, see, this is where geography should come in, isn't it? Because I'm crap at geography. I would say Tanzania and Zanzibar. I think they're further afield than... Yeah, definitely Tanzania and Zanzibar are the furthest. I mean, Egypt was the furthest I would been before, in Tunisia. You know, I've done like the Canary Islands and all that. But yeah, Tunisia and Zanzibar. And I have to say, if you can go... Tunisia I loved, but Zanzibar... we stayed at Zanzibar, Old Market Town, Zanzibar Old Market Town. And I got to see where Eddie Murphy from Queen had been born. And the people were so friendly out there, so friendly. It did help when my husband can speak fluent Swahili, so we got to speak to the Samai warriors, which was quite nice, a bit scary because they do carry around a spear and a shield and, you know, dress as you see them in pictures, which was a bit of a culture shock because I didn't think they did in real life, but they do. But they were very friendly, and once they realised my husband could speak fluent Swahili, they would chat. So every day that we saw them on the market in the evenings, they'd be having a good old natter, so that was an experience. And their food out there was all cooked fresh, which was so nice. You had the street markets at night, which apparently they do every night for the locals, but of course it's great for tourism. And they cook fresh lobsters, fresh crabs, fresh pieces of meat, goat, was it goat and what's the other one? I can't remember what the other one was, but I tried crab and lobster, and they did chips, and it was the best chips I've ever tasted. It was in like an oil, like half a oil drum, I would say. It wasn't an oil drum, but it was a big, huge tin thing. It was that had been beaten out into like a bowl shape, and it was over an open fire with oil in it. And they cooked these chips fresh every day, and oh, they were lovely. They were so tasty. So yeah, so the furthest I've ever been is Zanzibar and Tanzania, and I'd go back tomorrow if I could. What's the next question? 5, favourite subject in school. I didn't have one. I had the most horrible school experience possible, I think. Because I was dyslexic and it wasn't picked up, I was declared thick. So I got ridiculed for doing bad work, and I got ridiculed if I did good work because they thought it was funny to take the mickey out of me when I managed to do something that was half decent. So I pretty much give up in school. I have found out since that apart from dyslexia, I have a condition where I can't hold information very well. It's got to be something that's repeated to me over a long time before I get to grips with things, and that's why it takes me so long to learn a craft or do things. But I'm okay with that. If I'd have been told that in school, I'd be, and had the help, I'd have been fine. So no, I didn't have any in school. College was a different experience. They picked up straight away that I had dyslexia. The teachers were completely different, and I loved tourism. It was my favourite subject in college. I did a business course, and I loved travel and tourism was my favourite. Number 6, name choices of my kids. Well, Joshua was going. Grant wanted Isaac. I wanted Noah. The only one that we both liked was Joshua, but Grant didn't really want it. He said it was okay at a push. We did know that his second name would be Reese because my maiden name was Reese, and there was no other relatives in our family because my dad hasn't got any relatives. So we decided that if we had a boy, it would be Reese. A girl, what did we have for a girl? I think it was Jessica for a girl on the first. And then when Joshua came, I had a bit of a rough time with him because he had to be taken off me for a while. They wanted to have a name if possible. He didn't have to, but I thought, because I'm a bit cruel, and it is naughty. I look back, and it was very naughty, but I was high on drugs at the same time, and I could have changed it, but I didn't really want to. But don't tell Grant that. They asked, have you got a name for him? And I went, oh yes, Joshua Reese. And of course that went on his little wristband and his little footband. And of course when Grant came in, I said, I'm ever so sorry. I said, he's already Joshua. He said, what do you mean? He's going to be Isaac or Noah. I said, well, they asked me what name, and I looked at him and he just looked like a Joshua. And I thought he's going to go potty, but he didn't. He went and looked at him and he said, you know what? Actually, he does look like a Joshua. So, yeah, so that's how Joshua stuck. Millie, we could not agree on any names for Millie until we come across Millie, but M-I-L-L-I-E, Millie. And then we used Jessica. Well, it was going to be Jessica Millie. And then when she was born, we said she looks more like a Millie than a Jessica, so she became Millie Jessica. And then Jessie Juju, Morgan. She was going to be Morgan all the way through. If it was a girl, it was going to be Morgan. If it was a boy, it was going to be Isaac Noah. Dead set. Now, didn't have a second name, but... And then a friend's little girl came up and she said, and I was 8 months pregnant, and she said, why don't you call it Jessie? I like Jessie. She said, Jessie's a really nice name. And I thought, I know Millie had got Jessica as a second name, but I thought, it doesn't hurt. So I thought, it's nice, you know. But I think we're going to stick with Morgan. And of course, then when she was born, Morgan didn't seem right calling her Morgan Jessie. So she became Jessie Morgan. And she's an IE as well. Yeah, and she suits her name. My little Jessie Juju. So I got Millie Moo, or Mill Mill, as she's now known, thanks to Maggie. Thank you, Maggie. So she loves that nickname. She'd rather Mill Mill than Millie Moo Moo, because she said that's, you know, sounds nicer. Joshua is Joshua Poshua. And Jessie's Jessie Juju. So they've all got their nicknames after their... If you're wondering what the crinkling is, I've got me paddy wax down my bra, so I was just moving it over a little bit. Sorry, guys. The things you do for diamond painting, eh? Habits. Have I got any habits? My biggest one, I don't do it now I'm married, but when I was younger, taking in waifs and strays. Whether it was people or animals, I'd always feel sorry for people. So I'd always go out my way to help and give them a drink or whatever. And yeah, that when I look back, that was in my sort of early 20s. That could have been quite dangerous, but I didn't think of things like that back then. I just wanted to help people that were down on their luck a bit. My landlord used to say, if the Hotel Metropole had as many people in their hotel as you have in your flat sometimes, he said they'd be happy. But he was good. He didn't mind, because he knew I was just helping people out for the odd night or whatever. But I look back now and I cringe. I think, oh my God. Grant says my biggest fault is I'm too trusting. And I know I am. I am too trusting. I treat people how I want to be treated myself, with respect and trust and whatever, but more often than not, yeah, it doesn't get repaid, does it? So I'm more picky now with who, what's the word, associate with. You know, my friends have been my friends for God knows how many years, do you know what I mean? So yeah, whereas years ago I would have like 20, 30 friends. Now I've got just a handful. So yeah. I did used to smoke, which was a dirty, stinky habit, but I gave that up. I do miss that though. I do miss the odd fag going out in the garden with a glass of wine and a cigarette. I used to really love that. But yeah, that was my really dirty habit. Have you got any tattoos? Yes, I've only got 2, and they're both small. I've got a rose on my left thigh, an English rose, and I only had that because a friend wanted a tattoo and I wasn't into tattoos, and she was scared when we got there, and I said, oh, for God's sake, I'll have a rose, you can see what it's like, and then you can have yours, because hers was a lot bigger. So I had that one done, and then I went with a male friend, and he was just a friend, he was a work colleague, and we got on great. There was a gang of us. And he wanted a tattoo, but he was too scared. I said, oh, I'll come with you. Come on, I know the tattooist. Come on, we'll go. And he did the same thing. He nearly chickened out. So I had a pair of hearts done on my right ankle. So, but I do want, which I will get even if I have it at 70, is 3 butterflies with the kids' names in a certain way, in a certain design. So I've got it all planned out. It's just... What did they quote me the other week's? £60 butterfly, so 180 quid to do the 3. Well, I haven't got 180 quid. And if I had 180 quid, that'd be going towards the decking in the shed for Millie. So, do you know what I mean? So that's on the back burner. But yeah. Oh, and I have got one. Look, can you see that? Hang on. Can you see that little dot there? That's my accidental little tattoo. Look, isn't it cute? I stabbed myself with an ink pen. Don't ask me how I did it. I had no idea. I just accidentally stabbed myself, and I tried to dig it out, but no, it's ended up like a little tattoo. My middle name. Oh, God, I hate my middle name. It's Gillian. Apparently I was going to be Gillian Caroline, but they changed it to Caroline Gillian, thank goodness. I mean, I suppose Jill's all right, but Gillian? No, I don't like it. Don't like it at all. And Mum said she don't know why she chose the name she did. It was just what they liked at the time. So yeah, Gillian, with a G, not a J as well. So yeah, favourite perfume. Oh, I've got a few now. I do like oh, can't think what it's called. Flower Bomb by Victor, and can't remember the other bit of it, but that's super expensive. So I didn't have any this last year for Christmas because money was a bit tight. So I said no. We got Jimmy Choo Bloomin', is it? Or was it Fabulous Bloomin'? Got that one, which I love because Jessie, I got it for Jessie for her birthday in August, a little bottle, because she wanted to have her first perfume, and I really liked it, so I had that one and I really like it now. And I also like Dior Bloomin' as well. Blossom. Oh, I get confused whether it's Blossom or Bloomin', but I like Dior. My husband said you go for all the expensive ones, didn't you? But yeah, as long as I got my deodorant on, I'm happy though, so that's all right. Favourite film? It's got to be The Lost Boys, the vampires. Absolutely love that film. I've watched it time and time again, and every time he comes to the door when they're in the family meal, I'm going, don't invite him in, don't invite him in, and he invites him in. But yeah, that's my favourite film. How tall am I? I was 5'5.5". I say was because I am now 5'4". I've lost nearly an inch and a half. Well, she said just a tad over 4. 5'4", just a tad over. I've lost an inch and a half down my spine. But hey ho, you know, these things happen. So I'm a little shorty, I'm afraid. Worst downfall, I think it's like my habits. I think you can say that's my habits. Worst downfall. Seeing the best in everyone is a good trait and a bad trait, I suppose. You know, I try and look for the good in everybody. As Grant says, sometimes there isn't any good to find, but I always think there is. I try and see the best in everybody, no matter what. And even if they walk all over me or hurt me or whatever, I still try and forgive and see the best in them. Worst pain ever. Oof. You'd think you'd say childbirth, but no. Abscess in my back tooth. Somebody had given me a shotgun with that. I was 7 days with that before I got treatment, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And I didn't really know what it was because I was living on my own. I was only about 19. But when I did go to the doctors in the end, and he gave me antibiotics and he gave me 1,000 mgs of painkillers because I was in so much pain, which didn't touch it at all. If I'd have got to my uncle's gun cabinet, I would have probably shot myself. I was in that much pain. I didn't know what to do with myself. And it ended up there to rush me into a dentist. Well, they rushed me into the hospital. They had me on gas and air, and they gave me pethidine, 2 shots of painkillers. Then they rushed me down to a dentist who was on standby in the hospital, and he had to cut all my gum and drain all that abscess, and not nice. And the other one was gallstones. I could manage the gallstones most of the time when they hit and they got stuck. But the one time I had it for over 24 hours and we couldn't shift it, and that was bloody painful. That was extremely painful. And the thing with gallstones is you're at home and you don't go and see a doctor, because 1 minute it can be really painful and within a split second it's gone. The stone's moved and you're in no more pain. So I kept thinking with this 24-hour one, it'll go. And Joshua was only like, Joshua's 18 now, and Joshua was 18 months, something like that, 1 year. He wasn't very old. But by the evening, Grant had to take me. I had it from the following evening. By that evening, they took me in, and that's give you really strong painkillers. And then, of course, eventually you have it out. Yeah, so both of them. Embarrassing moments. Oh, I probably had loads. Forgetting words, saying the wrong words at the wrong time. That's a classic. The worst one I think I've ever done was when I worked in a supermarket, and somebody I knew, didn't know as a friend, but you get to know people when you work in that environment, came in, and I hadn't seen her for about 6 months. And I said, "Oh, are you pregnant?" I said, "When's the baby due?" She just looked at me. She said, "I'm not pregnant, I'm just fat." I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, "I really didn't mean any..." What could you say? I mean, I'm a big girl, but you can tell I'm just fat. Do you know what I mean? But it just looked like she was pregnant, bless her. Yeah, so I've never, even if somebody is pregnant, I never say to them, "Oh, you're pregnant," just in case. And another time I walked into a glass door going into a shop. I didn't realise the door was shut. So, yeah, and I think I've split my trousers a few times when I was working. You know, but I just laugh it off. I think if you can try and laugh it off, something like that, it's not so bad. Even if you go in a corner and cry after. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's it. So that's all my 15 questions answered. Don't know whether you like them or not, but hey ho, that's my answers for the tags. I'm supposed to tag people. Tracy's Craft House. Definitely tag you because she's so interesting. And anyone else really. If you want to do it, do it. I don't want to put any pressure on anybody. Same as you, Trace. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you'd like to do it, I'd love to hear your 15 tags. And if I remember, I'll put the tags in the comments below, and then you can just, you know, copy and paste and you've got them. So I will love you and leave you. Take care. Sorry I'm not doing long videos at the moment or as chirpy as I normally am, but I will bounce back and know that I love you all. And most importantly, take care, stay safe, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.